The second thing that I think is important that the natural hair community does is that we lobby for equality. A couple of situations come immediately to mind, one positive, one negative. The negative situation was, if you're not aware, last week on the Kohl's store website in their Halloween section, they had a wig that was named the Ghetto Fab wig. And it was like a curly afro, I guess, that you could wear with a 70s disco look or whatever. Well, clearly, hello, we have a problem with the term Ghetto Fab wig when the texture of the wig is like my texture, you know, and it's a fro. And so I originally saw it on, I think Black Hair Grows Long or something like that. One of the blogs that I follow, I saw it up there. I retweeted it. And then I proceeded to email Kohl's and just tell them I was not thrilled. I was not spending my money in that store ever again, because if you have just so little respect for me, why would I continue to patronize an establishment that clearly doesn't have respect for its customers of color and these particular customers that wear their hair natural? So later that night, I checked their Twitter page, and it was just like tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet of them apologizing and saying, you know, we are so sorry, we didn't mean to offend you, that is not what we're about, blah 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 blah, we're taking the wig down tonight. We are a force to be reckoned with when it comes to that kind of stuff. We can unite and come together around common causes and issues and that sort of thing. I just had a tweet, or I saw a tweet earlier today, where the gossip entertainment reporter, whatever he is, John Murray, made some comment about black women being militant and nappy-headed, and I guess also follow that up with some tweet about if we didn't like it, or something to the effect of we needed to get a perm. He made that comment in a tweet. I'll find it and put it somewhere in this video, either in this video or in the description box below. And apparently some naturals once again sort of took that. I wish I'd found out about it. He has since apparently issued an apology. I think from what I understand, there are some people who think that it was sort of half-hearted, and so there is an opportunity to continue to just express your concern for the comments that were made to AOL Black Voices, and that's apparently where, I think maybe where he made his initial set of comments or something to that effect. I'll put information below and you can find out about it. So we can lobby for equality. A positive instance of that is the recent I Love My Hair video from Sesame Street. If you haven't seen it, you absolutely have to go check it out. It's the best thing ever. Love that video. If I had a daughter, she would watch it like every day. She would be so sick of me making her watch that video. And it has just been such a clarion call, and kind of like a finally for some of us in the natural hair community that, gosh, somebody gets it. Who would have thunk it would have been a Caucasian guy that actually gets it, that, you know, we should love our hair texture. We should love the versatility of being able to wear it in braids and in a fro, and, you know, just in a whatever state is in, straight or what have you. And so that video has gone viral. So many retweets and on Facebook profiles. I know I posted it on my Facebook profile and other things like that. And, you know, it's been picked up by, you know, news networks and things like that, just talking about just talking about this conversation that those of us in the natural hair community have been having for years, even before I became natural. You know, this has been a conversation that's been going on for years. And finally, we're getting some national attention, which I think also helps to generate acceptance, awareness, probably some questions, maybe some strange looks, whatever. But it's a conversation that clearly needs to happen and needs to continue to happen, just like conversations around race and religion and those sorts of things need to continue to happen as well. The third thing that I think is important that happens in this natural hair community is that it can be, and it has been, a business launch pad for some people. I know that there are some, especially YouTube viewers, that have very specific and distinct views about that. Some people feel that you should not use your YouTube channel to just bombard your viewers and your subscribers with advertisements and basically solicitations to buy your business products, especially when in the beginning of your channel it was something slightly different. You were doing product reviews of other things, you were doing more tutorials, you were, a lot more information based, what have you. I think some viewers feel like you almost flip the script on them, and it's like, oh, now all of a sudden you want me to buy your stuff. My nose is itching like crazy. I, on one hand, do not knock anyone's hustle. I will be totally transparent and tell you that I have thought about and have tried to figure out a way to use my channel to possibly, generate some secondary income for myself. I haven't totally figured out if and how to do that without being obnoxious and intrusive about it, because that's not for what my channel is about. That is secondary and probably even tertiary to what I feel like the primary purpose of this channel is. I love the interaction that I get via this channel. I love sharing information with you, even though sometimes there may be times when my videos are sporadic. I'm constantly thinking about YouTube videos and what I really should be doing and that sort of thing, and even neglecting other things to do YouTube videos because I just love the interaction. I love this community, the natural hair community on YouTube, as well as just the community in general, because I do have some people that don't have natural hair that watch my channel as well. So I'll be honest and say that I've thought about ways to do that, but I don't want to compromise what I feel like my channel is to be about and should be about, to sell some products or to hawk some wares or to make some secondary income. I don't feel that strongly about it right now. Definitely not. That's not to say that at some point I won't be like, look, I'm gonna need for y'all to buy my pens, okay? Because actually you might be seeing a video about these for the holidays. Give them as gifts. But I promise you, I make the promise to you that it will not be in an intrusive, obnoxious way. I just can't do that. Alright, some other thoughts that I have had, really honestly, about the recent set of events that have happened. And I'm going to go ahead and warn you, some of what I say, may be a little bit controversial. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I know pretty much a lot of us are exasperated with the whole thing. But I do feel like these are some reminders for me, my heart towards the natural hair community and the importance of it. One thing is that our gifts, talents, and opinions have a place and a voice. I have notes. That's why I'm looking down. So our gifts, talents, and opinions have a place and have a voice. YouTube is a huge community of not just natural hair wearers, fashion, makeup, every technology, religion, politics, everything that you can imagine under the sun, hardware, do-it-yourself projects, interior design, everything that you can imagine, sewing, crafts, everything you can imagine under the sun is here. So there is room for everyone's voice. 1, on YouTube, 2, in the natural hair community, 3, in the world. There's just room. And the Bible talks about your gift making room for you. And that is very true. If you, do what you're supposed to do, and you're committed to whatever, your channel, your blog, whatever you're doing, you'll have an audience. Granted, it may not be, a large audience, or what some may consider large, but you will have an audience. You will have people that will be ride or die, do or die. They're going to follow you regardless. You're going to have people, you say one thing, they fall off. You're going to have other people that are kind of in the middle of the road. That's just the way life is. That's why you have friends and acquaintances and kind of your inner circle. That's all that is. It's the same thing in every community. Once again, I will also like to say, this is where it's going to get controversial, that we as viewers of YouTube vloggers and videos, we have to be a little bit careful of a mob mentality. And that is standing around, sitting around, laying around, watching videos, and kind of inadvertently sometimes egging people on. And based on some of the comments that I've read in some of these other videos, I felt, just me and the way I feel, that some people, I'm not picking out anyone in specifically, I've watched every video from the 3 people involved that I could, and that they've made, and I don't see the malice in anything that African Export said or anything that Taryn said. I don't see the malice. I just don't. I'm leaving that at that. But that also leads me to sort of my next point. Also, what I read in some of the comments was kind of like choosing sides. And I don't feel like we have to choose sides as viewers or as vloggers in this. I think it is very telling that some of the other YouTube vloggers that I follow have not weighed in on the subject at all. And I can't imagine that they are saying, I'm not getting in the middle of that. It is not what I'm about. It's not what my channel is about. It's not what this whole community is about. So I think that it's very intentional and very wise to not choose sides in this particular thing. You have your opinions and your feelings about, all 3 of them. I, for one, am not going to stop watching any of their videos. They each in their own way have influenced my life, my regimen, my products, my journey, my fashion, my style, whatever, in their own way. And I just don't feel like I have to choose between the 3. They wouldn't ask me. I don't know them like that. But just from their persona, they wouldn't ask, for us to do that. So I just think that we don't have to choose sides. Whatever your personal decision is your personal decision. If you choose to unsubscribe from one or more, then that's totally on you. And I can understand why you would want to do that. I can understand the feelings regarding I just don't feel like we have to choose sides in this particular instance, or in any instance as well, because one thing that I mentioned earlier in the video about community is that no journey is the same. No 2 people will go through this in the same manner. A lot of what you see on YouTube is best practices, if you will. It's what works best for the person that's making the video. That doesn't mean that it's going to work best for you. Doesn't mean that what you do is going to work best for me. And that's the other thing that I love about our community is the diversity of voice. And one thing that sort of frustrates me about some viewers and the comments that they post and the criticism really that they post is that it's kind of like black and white, do or die, right or left. There is, very little gray. It's very little understanding that this is what has worked for me. You take it, you tweak it, you make it your own. Which, if you've watched any of my videos, I do take stuff and sort of make it my own. And if I try something and it doesn't work, I don't condemn the person that I got it from, like they've steered me down the wrong path just because it didn't work for me. I just say that this didn't work for me, or this worked for me when I tweaked these things in it. You do, as my girlfriend says, you do you, boo. And I think that that's sort of the kind of carefree attitude to a degree that we have to have when it comes to this community.